It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Greetings, NBA fans. Welcome to 2K Sports. I'm your host, Ernie Johnson, and seated beside me, Kenny the Jet Smith, and the Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal. And it is Clipper basketball tonight as the Los Angeles Clippers go up against the Detroit Pistons. And guys, for the Pistons, they haven't forgotten the fact that this team swept them last year in the regular season. This is a game they had circled going in. And let us talk, guys, about DeAndre Jordan. Incredible player, but if this game comes down to the wire, we might see the Haka, and I know you have some thoughts on this, big fella. You don't even like us to call it the Haka Shack.
Yeah, because it didn't work. It definitely didn't work for me. So whoever they're hacking, call it them. We all know that free throws are part of the game, and it's a viable strategy. You know, he has improved on his free throws, but he is a liability in late-game situations. But as long as he hits him when he needs to hit him, he'll be okay. He has to hit at least one.
Well, I think, if you're a dominant player like Shaq was, then the Haka Shaq doesn't work because he was so dominant in other areas. But certain guys, DeAndre now is starting to be dominant in other areas, so it's starting not to work as well. He's starting to increase his play and his scoring ability and his defense. So now the Haka Jordan doesn't have the same impact.
That'll wrap it up as we take you courtside. Thank you so much for joining us.
Alarms go off when I enter the building.
It's the Pistons, and they're doing business on the road. It's an interconference NBA matchup. Hi, everyone. We're happy to have you with us for this edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. And Rip Hamilton out with the injury. Clark, he's going to be missed.
Well, since the last game when we saw him leave with that injury, the news appears to have gone from bad to worse, guys, and that's terribly disheartening. The speed of that young player, man, we're going to miss that, and he could be out a long time.
Yeah, and certainly not the news he nor his teammates were hoping for. But he'll just have to rededicate himself to the rehab process, and hopefully he can come back better than ever.
A nice clean game, huh?
Tip-off goes to the Clippers. And now the opening lineup for Detroit. We've got Wallace. Thomas is out there with Dumars. Then there's Tobias Harris. And it's Drummond in at the 5.
Boy, for Jamal Crawford, guys, it's been a really good career. Not many guys can maintain his level of quickness after 15 years in the league. But last season, he finally started to show a little wear and tear.
The offensive rebound. And the Pistons with possession here. It's a three-point game coming off that loss against Philadelphia.
Guys, it was like there was a lid on the basket in that game. No matter how many plays you make at the defensive end, hard to overcome such a lack of production offensively.
Well, the high-quality shots were few and far between for them, guys, and they have nobody to blame but themselves for that. You've got to do a better job of working harder to put up points.
And there's a call on Tobias Harris. That's his first foul.
That's his first personal foul.
Here in the first, a little over a minute played so far. And the shot is good from Johnson. Johnson's got his first 2 points.
Man, can you always depend on him or what to lead you to the right place with that pass? Money.
Dumars. And Griffin sends it back. They recover it. Outside for Thomas. A second chance effort. Back to Wallace. Clock is at 3. Here's Dumars. That doesn't go either for Dumars.
Kevin, just enough presence to bother that three-point attempt there.
Yeah, but for a guy that shoots it as well as he does, I'd say that is an easy look. Yeah, poor job defensively, giving him such a clear look at the basket from three-point range.
Drummond a screen. Dumars dishes to Drummond. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. Jamal Crawford picks one up. Drummond, a bit of a disappointing season last year. Not so much in play, but people wanted to see a bigger leap from him. Now, his numbers are still pretty jaw-dropping. But I think he's got so much there to give.
He has a lot of potential, Kevin. And listen, I don't think his play was bad. He just had such huge expectations to live up to. I mean, player development is not a straight line, and it would have been very hard to have him take another huge leap forward. Sometimes you have that sophomore jinx. But I'm expecting a big year from him this season. And I love the tenacity, guys. He simply can will his way into games at times and exert his presence.
Here in the first, just under 2.5 minutes played so far. Crawford with the ball. In the loss to the Warriors the other night, definitely not himself. Good.
You know, for Drummond last season, his numbers were relatively the same. The expectations placed on him were so hard for him to live up to. Maybe now those will be tempered a bit and he'll play better.
Now here's Wallace. Got a piece of it. Drummond, the screen. And the call goes against Wesley Johnson. That is his first foul of the game.
Yeah, really good defensive play to cut him off there and square up.
Excellent example of toughness and physicality on defense. Got his nose right in the middle of things and made a play.
Here's Wallace. That's in there. Thomas with the assist.
And another thought on Drummond, a lot more was expected of him last year, and he saw more attention. Even though his numbers were close to the same, I really felt his impact on the floor was not
good.
Oh, that is just weak defense there. I'm pretty sure that was not the plan to give him those kind of baskets at the hoop.
Now here is Harris. 14 points from him the last game against Philadelphia.
Yeah, but Kevin, a lot of those points came at the line. I mean, he was aggressive to attack the D, not settling, and really did a good job of cashing in on those free throws.
The Los Angeles Clippers come into this one following a loss to Golden State.
And really, given how they performed offensively, guys, they just never had a chance.
Yeah, and you can see their frustration growing and growing as they continue to come up empty on their possessions. By the end, they were just happy to watch the clock wind down and move on.
Crawford against Dumars. Crawford with the steal. And Paul with a clear path to the hoop. That pushes it to double digits. Paul's got 6 points. And a chance now to catch up on some numbers here. The hustle stats for the Clippers.
And it's been about their defense. They're playing with a frenetic pace, putting a lot of pressure on the ball handlers and forcing turnovers.
They've gotten their fair share of points off turnovers so far tonight, too.
And the Pistons decide to take their first timeout right here.
Yeah, none too pleased with the play of his team. And you know what? They just need to get things sorted out.
Yeah, you know, there's not a coach around who would be happy with the way his guys have kind of rolled over during this run.
For the Clippers, Grant comes in for DeAndre Jordan. And J.J. Redick is subbed in for Jamal Crawford. And Detroit has possession, trailing by 10. They might be named after a car part, but the Pistons had a rough go of things on the road, Clark. They just kind of had to use it. They just couldn't stay consistent away from home.
They couldn't. Only won 14 road games, and that number is not enough to get you to the playoffs.
And taken away by Johnson. Now here's Redick, the fast break opportunity, and it's blocked. They retain possession. Second shot opportunity. Griffin's shot is off. Pistons trailed by 10. Fires for 3, and Joe Dumars the bucket on the assist by Thomas. Dumars got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game.
And guys, for the Pistons' bad road record, a lot of it was due to their poor start on the road. Only managed to win one of their first 9 games, and that tends to take the confidence away from a young team.
And the Clippers decide to take their first time out here.
You know, the last thing I'll say about the Pistons on the road, typically you have to be close to 500 on the road in order to make the playoffs. The Pistons won 7 in a row at one point on the road, but by then they had fallen too far back.
A different look for the Clippers. Chris Kaman's checked in for Griffin. And it's Josh Smith in for Wesley Johnson. Detroit also making some changes. Lambeer's checked in for Drummond. Prince comes in for Ben Wallace. And Chauncey Billups is subbed in for Isaiah Thomas. So he gets the whistle, contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up.
You know, one of the things I think we forget about with Chris Paul is just how clutch he is as a player. I mean, hitting the go-ahead shot in Game 7 against the Spurs last postseason was a big reminder to everyone that this guy is clutch.
Reggie Jackson's checked in for Detroit. And so Paul nails both of them. And talking about Paul and his ability to come up in the clutch, that Game 7 shot when he was playing injured against San Antonio, the defending champions, turned out to be the game-winning points. Remarkable play, remarkable series for him.
It was. You know, you could see him hobbling around out there and would have to miss games in that Rockets series, the first 2, if I recall. But that series is what Paul is really all about, Kevin. He is a competitor, first and foremost.
That one is no good.
And guys, when you go to look for holes in the game of Tobias Harris, there really aren't any. One of the hardest workers in our league. If he has any weakness at all, it's his average size speed combo, which most likely will keep him from becoming the perennial all-star type.
Clippers leading by 8. In the corner, Smith with it, shoots. Bounces high off the rim and drops.
And the offense has come together immediately. I mean, they're threatening to run away with this thing already.
Greg, it's hard to imagine they'll stay this hot for 4 quarters, but if they even approximate that, watch out.
Here's Harris. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. On the topic of Tobias Harris, you'll love that he can contribute in every category of play. He's a solid face-up shooter. Clark, who's getting better with his back to the basket. You can see movement forward all the time.
I love what this young man has shown thus far. You mentioned those things he does. He'll also rebound for you, get loose balls. He does the little things, understands what it takes to win, the consummate pro and team player.
Now here's Paul. He's coming off a 16-point game against the Warriors in Oakland.
And also 3 steals, so he showed some grit and determination on the defensive side.
Offensive rebound. Here's Smith. Prince with the defensive effort.
The defense ready for him on that possession. They had to be, because he is so strong in the paint.
Clippers leading by 9. Now we'll go to Doris Burke, who had a chance to talk with head coach Doc Rivers.
Kevin, he told me he stressed to his players that what he wanted more than anything tonight was the extra pass. He said, we have a lot of guys on this roster that can be factors on offense. As long as we're keeping everyone involved, we can overwhelm teams with our scoring. Let's see if they can keep the rock moving and share the ball, guys.
Appreciate the report, Doris. And guys, how does, their offensive strategy fit into this matchup?
I think it should make for an entertaining game. I love hearing coaches say their focus is on offense. That usually means we can expect some fireworks.
Yeah, and I know the fans love to hear that, too. Just as I do, I love seeing some high-octane offense. I think it's bound to be a game played at a brisk pace.
Timeout.
Start it.
Los Angeles calls timeout.
Yeah, it looks like he saw some things out there that need to be adjusted. And he's going to take a break here and talk it over.
Hey, coaches sometimes need a break in the action to rethink and retool a bit. Anytime you're in that situation, it makes sense to use the timeout.
Not to the surprise of anyone, really, but the Clippers last year were strong at home once again. They managed to go 30-11 at Staples Center.
Yeah, and Kevin, that makes 3 straight seasons for the Clippers of 30 or more wins at home.
Paul outside. There's the dish to Brand. And again, no good by the Clippers.
You know, the big thing for the Clippers is that they won some big games in Staples over tough opponents. I mean, also won 6 of their last 7 to secure the 3 seed in the West.
And that one's good by Billups.
And he came off that screen, and the D just didn't get over the top of it.
Yep, weren't there in time enough to challenge Greg, and when that's the case, you can mark those up for him.
Now here's Paul. 11 points in the game. Out to Smith. All sorts of time, and he gets the jumper to drop. And the Clippers lead by 9.
And one issue with the Clippers at home is that it didn't feel like they were at home. Blake Griffin said home court advantage is just not there for us. And this is on the heels of a loss where the crowd was cheering for the other team louder than the Clippers at times.
3 seconds separate the shot clock and game clock. The pass to King. And a great assist by Paul as that one goes in. Paul's got his 4th assist with that last one here tonight. Lambeer screen. Billups against Paul. Jacks up a 3. Good work defensively by Paul.
Outstanding perimeter defense there. That was a well-contested.
And Blake Griffin grew up playing the game alongside his older brother. His dad was his coach, and he credits his brother for inspiring him to work at his craft.
You know, watching him kind of go through the process of he started to get, recruited by college coaches, and then he, really took his game and became serious about it. And I watched his work ethic, and I watched how he, put the time in, the things he did, and that's kind of where I developed mine.
Well, talking about taking the right course, we know that the older brother of Blake Griffin, 3 years older, he played, as did Blake, for their dad Tommy in high school, and they were terrific high school players and 4-time state champions.
I mean, it always helps to have a big brother who's kind of been there and done that and can share those experiences with you. Doesn't hurt to have a dad also who's a pro player either, and also a college coach.
Welcome back, folks. We'll see if we're in store for a more tightly contested quarter as we move here into the second. And let's quickly break down the game we've seen from the Clippers, guys.
And it's really about limiting their mistakes, and early on they've been able to do that here in the first.
And guys, I like what I've seen from them on the other end, forcing a few giveaways, and that's allowed them to widen that turnover margin.
Inside, it's Griffin and Jordan. Paul and Crawford pair up at the 1 and 2. And it's Johnson in at the 3 spot. They're the group out there for the Clippers starting the second quarter. DeAndre Jordan has been extremely productive over 7 years. That makes it even more unbelievable that there was some question, Clark, as to his commitment to basketball coming into the league.
Yeah, on talent and athleticism alone, he would have been a top 10 pick for sure, but he slipped to the second round, and he's made good on it, though.
Here's Thomas. 29 points for him last game against Philadelphia. Pass to Drummond. Prince in the corner. DeAndre Jordan grabs the miss. Jordan's got 4 rebounds now tonight.
And watching DeAndre Jordan, he's really refined his game over the years without losing the athleticism. He's that rubbery, long-limbed athlete that transcends age. And so far, I've seen 0 drop-off in his leaping ability and quickness. But no question, he's improved his skills and IQ. Guys, his consistency in terms of shooting has really helped them seize control.
Thomas kicks to Dumars. Nailed from three-point land. Dumars got 6.
That's just run-of-the-mill for him. A typical day at the office. He's one of the more skilled offensive players out there. And talking about DeAndre Jordan, he is displaying an energy level that many scouts wondered if he had. Let's face it, he underachieved a bit in his 1 year in college. He knows that. But when it's come time to do it at the highest level, DeAndre has risen to the occasion.
Here's Thomas following the basket by Chris Paul. Left side Prince. Three-pointer. It's good, and the Clipper lead is cut down now to just 9 in the bucket from Thomas.
They're getting a bunch of their points outside of the paint. 3 of their last 5 buckets are from three-point range.
And the defense is just not closing out quick enough.
Dumars kicks to Prince. Here's the floater. And Joe Dumars the bucket on the assist by Prince. Dumars got 5 points now in the quarter.
Now there's something for the top 10 highlight reel right there. A layup can be just as sweet and as pretty as a dunk sometimes.
Now here's Thomas. 7 points in the game.
Yeah, but the defenders draped all over him. He just could not shake loose.
Prince misses.
That's one he knows he should have drained.
Dumars against Crawford. And it's sent back by Wallace. Paul kicks to Johnson. Los Angeles with another miss.
And good defense there to play up and get a hand in the face.
Well, he's got a tough mindset. He's confident as a defender. And when you combine those two things, it makes it real hard to score on him.
Clippers leading by 7.
And Coach Doc Rivers wears multiple hats for this organization. Not only is he the head coach, but also in charge of all basketball operations, really the leader in a lot of ways for this team.
And Dumars gets it to go.
Excellent ball movement there, guys.
And that's keyed this run. Passing it with purpose, the D hasn't been able to keep up.
Now here's Paul. He's got 13. Griffin goes in. Jordan the pass to Griffin. And it's good. Assisting on the play was Jordan. Jordan's got 3 assists in the game. Pistons trail by 7. Outside Thomas. And Griffin sends it back.
Not really his best quarter as far as scoring. Let's see if he can eventually get back on track.
And DeAndre Jordan pulls it down.
And a few more points tacked on to their lead in the cruelest way possible.
You're right. Yeah, those putback jams sting, don't they? My goodness.
Yeah, they really hurt you. I mean, the defense forces a miss and then can't rebound it and finish off the defense. They're hanging their heads in their chest now.
6 to shoot. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
And with the offense getting right to the rim, at least they saved the layup.
Old school D right there, just telling them no easy layups. It's as simple as that. And that's what you expect from them.
Catching up on the changes for Los Angeles. Chris Kaman has checked in for DeAndre Jordan. Brand comes in for Blake Griffin. Josh Smith, he's checked in for Wesley Johnson. And J.J. Redick is subbed in for Jamal Crawford. So neither attempt will fall that time for him. Just a bit of an up-and-down year for the Pistons last season. Had some long winning streaks and some long losing streaks for first-year head coach Stan Van Gundy.
Yeah, Kevin, some would say it was addition by subtraction because they really went on that big run after they released Josh Smith. 7 straight wins for them at one point, and they also did have some giant lows.
Clippers with the ball after the basket by Detroit. To the right side. 13 feet away. The shot is off. Nice D from Laimbeer. Pistons trail by 7.
And, you know, those giant lulls were a big part of the Pistons season. I mean, their biggest losing streak was 13 straight losses, and a lot of that you attribute to their defense.
And the basket by Harris. Harris has got 6.
They have repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid dividends.
And with as many points as they've gotten in the paint, you know, they haven't had to do much work on the perimeter. And he is the ultimate when it comes to being a floor leader on the offensive end.
Yeah, you know, he's got a little bit of Greg Anthony in it, and he has been that leader today. I think he's done a really nice job of moving the ball and distributing it the way it needs to be done.
Well, Clark, I'm glad you referenced specifically why you thought he had a little Greg Anthony. I thought you were talking about Lee. He looked a little hobbled out there for a moment. And the Pistons also went into a slump after they traded for Reggie Jackson. 1-9 after the trade deadline. They would end the season on a better note, but truly they were streaky last season.
Grown man's power flush with a long hang on the rim at the end of it.
Clark, that could be a catalyst for him.
I think you're right.
And we've seen those kinds of plays get them fired up in the past.
Now, here is Smith. Some nice passing here by Los Angeles. Came in a screen. Rebound by Wallace. Wallace has got his 5th rebound right now in the game. Harris with it. Chris Paul covering. Outside for Jackson. Off target from three-point range. Clippers leading by 6. It's 3-on-3 on the fast break. Here's Smith. Some solid defense from Harris. Detroit's gotten cold from deep in the second quarter. Just 2 of 6 from long range. And Jackson gets it to go.
They are not rotating nearly quickly enough on defense down low. Got to get quicker there.
Just no resistance on the interior.
Now here's Paul. 15 points in the game. And stolen by Billups. And now in transition is Billups. Here we go. And Wallace slams it in.
And they definitely have the edge in those fast break points.
Greg, they sure have. I mean, maybe it hasn't helped put them in front, but they're clearly better off playing up-tempo basketball.
Here's Paul. After the basket by Detroit. The feed now to Redick. Brand against Wallace. Dishes it to Paul. 5 on the clock. And another one in the scoring column for him. He's 7 of 10 from the field.
He's having quite the quarter here, guys. I mean, shooting the ball extremely well.
Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. Now Billups. He's coming off a 13-point game against Philadelphia.
And 3 blocks on the game as well. I mean, he was going all out and making plays defensively.
From past the arc, and he gets the bucket. Billups has got 6. And stolen by Billups. Jackson and a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2.
I mean, even from over here, you can see that one pretty clearly.
No question about it, Greg. I mean, a ton of contact and a good call by the official.
First trip to the line for him here. And they now lead as the free throw drops for him. And the first half comes to a close. We've got a close game going on here. The Pistons on top as they end the second quarter with a massive 16-6 run. And time now to go courtside as we send you over to Doris Burke from the sideline. Doris?
Well, thank you, Kevin. Here with Chris Paul. And Chris, you guys came out of the gates blazing, but cooled off a bit later on. What happened out there?
Well, we came out with a lot of energy, but in the second quarter, it died down a little bit. You know, it's real. Everybody's very excited. You know, our team's excited, their team's excited, officials excited, you know what I mean? So we just got to calm down and play a little bit.
Chris, thank you so much. Kevin, in this league, you've got to sustain those hot starts.
All right, Doris, thank you. And time now for the halftime break with the third quarter.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Well, 2 quarters down, 2 to go. Welcome back. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kenny the Jet Smith as we start breaking it down for you. It was a rough ride in the first quarter for Detroit. They were on their heels immediately, at one point staring at a 12-point deficit in that opening period. The second quarter went a lot better for them, and they got right back where they wanted to be before the half and now hold the 1-point lead. Kenny, what's your take on Detroit so far?
Well, I love how they're getting points in transition. It's about pushing the ball, being aggressive, and then finishing with authority. Several times they beat the defense down the floor and ended up with easy buckets. If they can continue to keep that tempo up in the second half, they'll be difficult to beat.
Shaq, what was your takeaway on the Clippers?
Well, those second chance points are huge, and they only came because of their effort. Their work on the offensive glass is what's keeping them in the game. They definitely should try to continue to stay tough.
And time now to send you back down to the floor with Kevin Harlan. We will see you after the game.
And it's been a back-and-forth game so far with no ground given through the first half. Third quarter starting here now.
Paul's been great. He has 17 points, and what a game he's had passing the ball, too.
I love the fact that he plays for his teammates, really spreading the ball around, getting everyone involved.
The Pistons leading. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade for the second half of basketball. And Detroit looking at who they've got. They've got Thomas. Harris is out there with Wallace. Then there's Andre Drummond. And it's Dumars in at the 2.
Well, we know prior to last season, the Pistons handed the car keys over to Stan Van Gundy. He had some early hiccups, but overall, I think they're headed in the right direction. He's a proven winning coach in the NBA.
Here's Thomas, and Griffin sends it back. Wallace dishes to Thomas. It's on target from the high post. Thomas got the lead up to 1 now for Detroit. Thomas against Paul. The 11-footer. Rebound by the Pistons. This, their first look at this year's Los Angeles squad. Here's Dumars. Another 3 for Detroit.
And really, how about the quick release on that triple there, because he's given up a lot of height in that matchup.
Right on target you are, Greg. I mean, the quick release is what made the difference there. Any hesitation, and that shot is being blocked.
And it's time for an injury report. Let's get a Doris Burke update on the injury to Crawford. Doris?
Guys, the head athletic trainer for the Clippers provided some information for us. A very somber tone over here on the sideline, guys. It does not look to be good news at all. That is going to make things very hard on them in what is still a very young season. Hopefully, as early as it is, he has time to recover and help this team down the road. Guys?
All right, Doris, really appreciate you finding out how he's doing.
And you know, I know everyone is rooting for him to make a quick and full recovery.
Absolutely. I mean, his teammates want him back out there as much as he wants to be back out there.
Thomas kicks to Harris. Back to Thomas, and stolen by Jordan. Pass to Griffin. Now that's how to finish the break. Throw down with force.
Yeah, how about the sharp steal and then run out? It looks like they're ready to put the hammer down.
Well, we've been waiting for one of these teams, Greg, to pull away. Maybe that'll be a springboard for him.
Could be. A dunk like that coming off a great defensive play has to build some momentum.
Ball outside. Off target from three-point range. Detroit's gone 6 of 14 with the three ball tonight. Just a little over 40%. Not quite 2.5 minutes played here in the second half. It's Drummond with the drive. And a strong finish with two hands.
How about that fantastic finish and the aggressive move, too, Kevin?
Trying to send a message, Clark, with that slam, I think.
And I'm not sure if it was text or email, but he definitely threw that one down.
Paul against Thomas. Johnson the screen. That's a 2 from Paul. Rebound, Detroit. Drummond's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. And for Tobias Harris, a resurgence of sorts last season, Clark, especially from behind the arc, where he shot a career-high 36%.
You know, he'd only hit 25% from 3 the year before, Kevin. So, yeah, a monster improvement in accuracy from long range.
Detroit making a switch. Prince is checked in.
And getting back to Harris, there's just so much to like about his game. He lives in the gym, has a tremendous feel for the game, and he knows how to maximize his production within those athletic limitations.
Paul passes to Griffin. Deep 2 from Crawford. Shot's good. Griffin making the play. And that's 11 points for Jamal Crawford.
You know, the thing about Harris is he's a combo forward, extremely versatile. At 6'8", he struggles with size against the better power forward, and he lacks the athleticism of the better small forward. So to get the most out of him, you have to put him in the right matchups.
Outside for Thomas. Wallace with the screen on Paul. He lobs up the alley-oop pass. Wallace misses.
It's hard not to go for it when you see the chance for that alley-oop.
Clearly, temptation got the best of him right there, Greg.
And I like how he puts himself in position there to finish on the break.
Yeah, you know, that's what we call seeing and feeling the game. Excellent read of how that play was going to develop and where the ball was going. That's stuff that you oftentimes can't teach, Greg.
And guys, right now, the defense mentally not there. Can't afford too many of those in a close game like this.
Yeah, Jay, you're right. Almost a free run, don't you think? Clark to the hoop for him there.
Momentum can swing on plays like that, Kevin, especially when the finish has that much thunder on it.
And it's sent back by Wallace. And they get it back. The Pistons have gone 6 of 10 from the field in the third quarter. Thomas goes in. The rejection by Paul. Crawford, no one around him. No good. That would have tied it.
When he's wide open like that, he'll rarely miss those.
Dumars kicks to Thomas. Again, Thomas missing.
Oh, boy, I tell you what, they don't get much uglier than the quarter he's having.
Yeah, and it's not showing any signs, Greg, of turning around here soon. I mean, his touch is basically gone AWOL.
Big group substitution here for the Clippers. Chris Kaman is checked in for Jordan. Brand comes in for Blake Griffin. Josh Smith, he's checked in for Wesley Johnson. And J.J. Redick is subbed in for Chris Paul. And a different look here for the Pistons. Beers checked in for Andre Drummond. Johnson comes in for Ben Wallace. Jackson, he's checked in for Dumars. And Chauncey Billups has subbed in for Thomas. Time called here. The Pistons decide to talk it over. As the teams head into this timeout, a chance for the coaches now to map out some plays for the next few minutes and a chance for the players to rehydrate with some Gatorade. That's important if they want to make sure they don't wear down later in the game.
Absolutely. Over the course of a game, you have to stay hydrated.
The Pistons trailing. You know, you work hard all season, Greg, to try and get into the playoffs, then get a favorable first-round matchup. How about the Clippers last year? Followed those steps. They're rewarded with the first-round matchup against the defending champions of the league, the San Antonio Spurs.
And not only were the Spurs the defending champions, but they came in playing terrific basketball down the stretch, which is kind of what they are noted for. And the Clippers, though, did well, even though that was the case.
Phillips dishes to Lambeer, and he gets it to go.
That's a good shot for him there, but it's kind of puzzling to me that he's not calling for the ball today like he usually does. He has to do more if they're going to pull ahead.
There's a check-in for Tayshaun Prince. Pistons have not set the world on fire at the free throw line. They're just 6 of 12. Well, last season, the Pistons didn't reach the playoffs for the 6th consecutive season. They're making progress, but as we can all see, still have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, you know, they were spoiled for a while there. How about going to the playoffs for 1996 to 2009? So it's been a rough stretch here of late, but you get the feeling that the building blocks are in place for another push.
That's good. And not even 3/4 out of the way. So many lead changes.
One heck of a game. I mean, guys, this has been outstanding in terms of the effort that both sides have been able to put up.
I'm looking over there at Craig. He's enjoying every second of it.
Yeah. Listen, the fans, guys, are getting their money's worth. Heck, I should have paid to watch this one. It's been a nail biter.
And breaking down some numbers here, the hustle stats for the Clippers.
Their high-energy defensive effort has paid off for them, guys, with more than a few steals over the course of the ballgame.
They have, but you also can't overlook how well they defended the rim, as they've challenged every shot, also gotten quite a few blocks as well.
And that's going to be a turnover. They call him for 8 seconds.
The turnover total in the first half, only 1, but a totally different story here in the second.
We've got 1:28 left to play here in the third. Outside, Phillips. On the wing, Johnson tries a 3. The shot is off. Excellent defense there from Smith.
And I bet most people forget that the Pistons did make the playoffs for 8 straight years before this current drought. It's been a long rebuild process for them recently, but I think they're making progress and moving in the right direction.
Brand sets a screen for Redick. 6 on the shot clock. 3-pointer. Rebound, Detroit.
And he's really having all sorts of problems with his jumper right now.
Yeah, big time. I mean, the words that come to mind, ice and cold and disappearing stroke, all would apply.
And for the Pistons, they seem to have a direction and plan now that just wasn't the case before. It won't be easy to get back into the postseason, but I really feel like they are on the right path. And not a night he's going to want to remember, just not really able to score the basketball.
Passes it to Crawford. Here's Kaman, and stolen by Phillips. And here comes Jackson, leading the fast break. And he hits it and gets hacked on the play. A 3-point possibility if he can convert the free throw.
Great anticipation and awareness to come up with the steal and trigger the fast break.
And now just a one-possession game thanks to that quick hitter. Outstanding play in the open court.
That one drops. He ties it up. Seven seconds left to play here in the third. That's a 2 from Paul, and it would have counted had it fallen, but it's offline. It's all tied here in Los Angeles. We've got more in store for you right after this. And we're set to start the action up here in the fourth quarter. And if it's anything like the first three, we should be in for a treat. Chris Paul and J.J. Redick are the guards. Inside, it's Griffin and Jordan, and it's Johnson in at the small forward. So that's the lineup on the floor for the Clippers. And, well, Detroit shooting it pretty well, close to 50%. Harris up top, defended by Paul. Dumars the pass to Harris. And out of bounds as the Clippers gain possession.
Man, I don't know what happened right there. He just basically walked out of bounds.
The Clippers shooting 47% from the floor, getting it done. And Redick kicks to Griffin, and he gets it to go. Griffin's got the first points up on the board here in the fourth for the Clippers. Outside Thomas. It's tipped. Feeds to Griffin. A pull-up. And a great assist by Paul as that one goes in. Paul's got his 8th assist in the game. Kicks it to Drummond. Just over a minute played here in the fourth. And he throws it down hard with one hand.
He is an automatic finisher when he gets into that area.
You know, he picks the simple one-handed stuff to get the 2 points.
Yeah, and in a close game, though, guys, those could be really important points.
Puts up the baby hook. And again, Blake Griffin. Griffin's got 6 points in the quarter.
Fantastic ball movement. They're picking them apart with their passing.
Purposeful passing it is, partner. Their last 10 points have all come off assists.
Drummond in the post. He's against Jordan. That's good. 6 points here for Drummond. And the Clippers call time here. And guys, Andre Drummond has made quite an impression in the early stages of his career. Clark, you were just talking about that. Greg, I don't think anyone felt he would have such an impact this fast.
Yeah, I mean, he's already a mountain of a man among boys. I mean, it's hard to believe when you look at this guy out there. He's only 22 years old.
Going back to Andre Drummond, some say there aren't any true centers entering the NBA these days. But I look at Andre, I look at DeMarcus Cousins, Joel Embiid, Karl Anthony Towns, and I think to myself, what are these people talking about?
Quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Guys, over that last break, I listened to Doc Rivers address his team. He told the guys that for now, he wants to see them back off the three-point shot, saying all our offense doesn't need to come from perimeter jump shots. Let's get the ball inside for some high-percentage looks.
Thanks, Doris. Griffin dishes to Crawford. Picked by Griffin. Crawford drives in. The shot no good. Nice D from Dumars.
And talking about Andre Drummond, I remember when he fell to number 9 on draft day. All sorts of experts were making excuses as to why. But even then, there was this eerie feeling that some teams had made a huge mistake in passing on it. And that feeling turned out to be correct.
Paul with the bucket. Paul's got 22.
Yeah, that's careless defense, though. I mean, he's one player you can ill afford to let run free. He just loves to be a money player in the fourth quarter.
Wallace kicks to Thomas. And it's Harris off the drive. Johnson with the block. Dumars against Paul. There's Crawford with the three. And a great assist by Paul as that one goes in. Paul's got assist number 9 now. Wow, what an effort here tonight. Here's Thomas. Basket number 5 goes in. He's now 5 of 12 from the floor.
Key buckets, and we know he delivers down the stretch.
To the middle. Here's Griffin, and lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. And an interesting byproduct of Blake Griffin extending his shooting range in his perimeter defense, Clark, his rebounding numbers have gone way down.
Well, it's hard to have it both ways, Kevin. I mean, the team needs him to keep working on his perimeter game, and if he's out on the perimeter, it makes it tougher for him to get rebounds inside.
Yeah, but the main thing is the 2-possession lead is secure.
Yes, fans, Clark, and the one team they view as floppers is the Clippers. I don't like that word, but just kind of came out. Whether that is fair or not is up for debate, but it is certainly, I think, the perception.
And I think there's some truth to that perception. I mean, multiple players have received fines for flopping on their roster. I mean, you can't run away from that, and the fans remember it, too.
Oh, they do, yes, sir. Johnson kicks to Paul. And Griffin with the score. The assist by Paul. And that's 13 points for Blake Griffin.
You know, there's no better sign of how efficiently a team is operating than their assist numbers. And theirs are fantastic.
Just beautiful when they play the game like this. And for the Clippers and flopping, part of it might just be reputation. Whenever anyone hits the deck on their team, fans might be quick to kind of condemn that as a flop.
And it's out of bounds, and they say last touch by Griffin.
And you know what? Just a little too much heat on that pass for him to come up with the steal.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that was going to be a tough catch for either one of them.
Here's Harris. Right side, Thomas. Ball is up on top. Here's Harris. So the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
You know, the Clippers were the darlings of the NBA as they improved and made strides, but I think the flopping has kind of diminished that now, that love affair. Being labeled a group of floppers can certainly stifle your popularity.
He's perfect from the line this time.
You look at what Harris has done so far. He has 12 points, and free throws have been big for him today, with 6 points from the line.
And it's important, and you can tell that he understands that in terms of getting to the line.
Soft touch off the glass. Harris has got it all tied up now for Detroit.
And that's just a great individual play right through the teeth of the defense.
Paul against Thomas. Paul kicks to Crawford from past the arc. Can't hit. And Detroit the other way now.
Boy, just by his body language, Kevin, you can tell he thought that triple was going to fall.
Yeah, it seemed like he had great rhythm on that. You can see the disappointment in his face.
And there's a call on Tobias Harris. That'll be his second foul of the game. Eldon Brand's checked in for Blake Griffin. And Detroit with a change here, too. Phillips is checked in. Crawford kicks to Johnson. Takes the assist and lays it in. Picked out the pass nicely. And the Clippers lead by 2. And it is flushed down with a nice jam.
Went for the two-hander on that slam. That's where the weight room comes into play, Kevin.
I think some urgency from him there.
I think he's sensing that this is a critical time in the game, fellas.
Paul with the 3. It's rebounded by Dumars. Phillips from outside. Chris Paul grabs the miss. Paul's got his 3rd rebound on the night. Johnson attacking. Wasted no time on that shot, but it's off the mark. Detroit's gotten off to an 0 for 2 start from downtown here in the 4th quarter. They now take the lead. And 11 points for Chauncey Billups.
Those defenders look like they're out of gas. I mean, they're getting pushed around on the low block.
Yeah, but they better rally soon because they've given up 3 straight buckets in the paint.
To the middle, it's deflected and stolen by Jordan. Johnson can't hit. The Pistons have gone 7 of 10 shooting the ball since the start of the 4th quarter. And the rejection by Brand. Here's the break, pushing it up. A pull-up. And off the prior, and in it goes. 13 points for Johnson.
Beautiful feed off the bounce to his teammate there. Nicely done.
Paul passes to Brand. Soft touch off the glass. Boy, right down to the wire here, Clark. Still anyone's ball game.
Both teams really invested now. I mean, this is the type of game you love to win, and you hate to lose it.
Yeah, and after all the energy both sides have expended, both teams still hungry for the win.
Well, he's an undersized center, but he more than makes up for it with some serious leaping ability.
Los Angeles calls timeout. Here's Paul. He feeds it to Brand. And that one's good. And the Clippers lead by 2.
I mean, you never expect to get opportunities that easy coming down the stretch of a tight game.
And Billups, here we go. And Jordan sends it back. And here we go. Fast break. Paul's got it.
Oh, excellent interior D to force the miss.
His defensive ability is a big factor. I mean, there's no denying that.
That was massive.
You know it. He's stepping right into the spotlight there.
Los Angeles calls timeout. The score knotted at 88. There's 48 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Crawford against Dumars. Lets it go from 14. And the wide open shot from Billups. Good! 36 seconds left to play in the final quarter. Crawford against Dumars. Crawford kicks to Paul. Fires the three. Rebound, Detroit.
Wow, what a rough second half for him shooting the basketball. Maybe you adopt a pass-first mentality at this point. You know what? Smart foul. You got to try and extend the game.
Sure. It's not over. The clock is as much a problem for them as the score is right now, so they've got to try to manage it.
And now we've got the intentional foul. And that hurts as he doesn't get the first one to fall. Trying to focus now on the second. And the second of two is good. That makes it a 3-point lead. And the Clippers call time here. They're losing by 3. There's 18 seconds left in the fourth quarter. There's 18 seconds left in the game. Here's Johnson. Misses the wing J. And there's the intentional foul. No choice but to stop the clock here. And no good as the first free throw missing for him. We'll see if he can nail the second. So he can't get either to fall.
The perfect chance, an opportunity to wrap it up, and he couldn't take advantage. We'll see if he lives to regret it.
There's the triple. Misses the tray. And so it's the Pistons who come out on top here. This win, such a tremendous emotional boost for them.
Really an accomplishment and crazy finish to take a road game like this and simply deflate an entire building.
And that about wraps it up. This is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for tuning in.
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Kevin, thank you. So why don't we take a look now at our Jordan Player of the Game. He led the way tonight with a double-double and was a major reason why they won tonight. His effort and intensity gave them the boost they needed.
This is what you love to see out your star players. He's the guy you rely on to give a team a win. Both ends of the floor, shouldering the scoring load. He was a joy to watch tonight, Ernie.
He was dead on from the field tonight, guys. I'd call his performance economical because there was no wasted opportunities. He took advantage of every good look he got. I mean, everything he put up was going in.
And that'll do it for our broadcast tonight. Hope you enjoyed the show. For me and Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kevin Harlan, and the entire 2K Sports crew,
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.